In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. May Allah's Salam Alaikum. I want to say that we thank Allah for allowing us to meet with you once again, to invite you to have prayer with us. We want you to know that there's no vanity in what we are saying to you and sharing with you. It is all to save your life. If you don't accept it, that's not up to me. That's not my responsibility. Put that book down. Pay attention. Take that book back off your back and sit up in that chair. We want the world to hear us. If we did not want the world to hear us, we would not be on the internet. We are not on the internet in an anonymous name. We are not on in front of the world with an open and a secret agenda. That's what they used to have a picture of, what they claimed was Jesus. He'd be standing up with his hands out and he'd have hearts in his hands. And that was a way of saying he didn't have no secret agenda. His actions and his deeds would be in accord with what he let come out of his mouth. What is that? Was that someone unmuting their phone? Just a moment. You all hold on a minute.
This is access code accepted. There are 15 participants in the conference.
You all hold on.
This service is provided. Access code accepted. There are 26 participants in this conference.
We are not here to practice hypocrisy. We are here to invite you to the religion of truth. And everything we say to you and do with you is for that purpose. I don't just tell you that I care about you. I actually go through the effort of trying to show you. And if you ain't got something to appreciate that, that's you. That's not my fault. This world always think that anybody that shows some care for them is a fool. But that is not, uh, uh, it's just like the doctor. A good doctor, he treats every patient with kindness and love. You would think you was his only patient. And only fools think that if they see him show that to somebody else, that he must not have cared about them. He wouldn't have got into the medical field if he didn't care about helping people. See, you so used to dealing with quacks that when the real thing come along, you don't know the difference because you didn't take the time to look at the difference. That's like people asking me what's the difference between me and Minister Farrakhan, when they can't even get in his meeting and ask him what's the difference in us. Then they go back and forth with me, asking me what's the difference in us. Then you ask them, well, get him on the phone and go back and forth with him. So you are as the book says, Babylon is become the habitation of devils, a hold of every foul-minded person, and a cage for every unclean and hateful jailbirds. They ought to put revolving doors on the cells and the jails in this country. Most people, they just keep going in and out, in and out. They love evil so much that all the it's just like a pond full of fish. This America is like a big pond full of wicked people, like a pond full of catfish. You're so full of them, you throw your hook in there, you bound and pull out one right away. It's a murder every so many minutes. It's a robbery every so many seconds. It's a rape every so many so-and-sos. And you almost got me saying some of this stuff that, I can't talk like that. And these is the people that's got nerve enough to sit up and call themselves judges and messengers of God. So I'm trying to reform you, trying to wash you and clean you up. It's easy to get in a shower and wash the dirt off of you. That's easy. Few minutes. You could have been stinking like a so-and-so. You could have been stinking bad as a cesspool. Somebody give you a soap and some towels and say, go in there and wash yourself up. You come out of there, put a little deodorant on, you'll never know you was ever stinking. But to wash up the mind of people, that ain't so easy. That's why my teacher told me, he said, you got the hardest job of any man that ever lived. Because even when you think you done wash somebody up, you discover they faking. So uh, that is, you know, and people in this world, they always look for a reason to stay unwashed. Ain't nobody else doing it. Ain't that? Well, if ain't nobody else doing it, what you saying? I ain't doing it. You coming up to the one who trying to get you cleaned up, and you say ain't nobody else doing this or doing that, as though you not talking to somebody who ain't doing it. So the bodies are grown, and the minds are babies. So we trying our best to help you grow up. I mean, here I want to let you see something here. Then I'm going to tell you it's one question that you can ask. Now they know who to bring on there and and talk to. Just a moment. I want to make sure that you hear him. You know, you can always tell. Now you tell any of y'all white folks, especially you rednecks out there that hate black people so much and got your boy in the office in there. You tell him that the Son of Man finna talk about him. And you can come in here and defend him if you like. I'll let you talk. I'm not a bigot. You come right on in here, unmute your phone and defend him. And just keep a civil tongue in your nasty mouth. Because all of you going to be on your knees in a minute. Just a minute. I want to make sure we get this. We ain't gonna miss it. The man is always up running his mouth saying something that he don't believe in. Y'all let him get away with it. All these so-called leaders let him get away with standing up there lying. Could you imagine if President Obama had been up trying to tell people how they could demonstrate peacefully? Huh? But you know, they've been trying to hold us to a different yardstick than themselves. Matter of fact, they've been doing that ever since they've been in power. That's why he's called the arch, whatever it is. He's the arch murderer, he's the arch deceiver, he's the top of it. He's the chief hypocrite. He got the right name now. Commander-in-Chief hypocrite. Now, Watch this. Now I'm going to show you that I know what I'm talking about. They don't even want to give you no good sound on it.
Largely the band agree, but we have to show total respect for our national anthem, for our flag, for our country. We have to do it. And there are plenty of places, and there are plenty. We have to respect our national anthem. We have to respect our country, and they're not respecting our country. And most importantly, the fans agree with me. I mean, largely the fans agree.
And most importantly, the fans agree with him. Ask him, do the Constitution agree with you? Just ask that fool. Does the Constitution agree with what he's saying? That's why he don't go over there to them rebels who flying them rebel flags, telling them they got to respect the flag of America. How come he don't tell them that? He go up there and tell him, you better get out of my face, man. I can fly whatever flag I want. Now you stick to the niggers. Don't come over here talking to us like we niggers. He ain't got no business even getting involved in that. Didn't the Constitution give people the right to protest? Then why he ain't upholding their right to do that? The Constitution gives people the right to burn the flag if they want. That's freedom of what? What is a sentence? Come on, you went to school. What is a sentence? Are you scared to say it? If a sentence is the expression of a complete thought, then the freedom of speech is the freedom to express your thoughts. Then if a man feel like he ain't able to, that what that flag stand for, if he's not allowed, does it stand for the murder of our people? For officers who go around saying we only kill black people. Is that what that flag stands for? Now I'll tell you another thing. Ask Mr. Fool. What is a flagpole designed for? It's to hold a flag, isn't it? And what is the proper position for that flag to be in? All the way up. Then is it disrespectful to the flag to fly it at half-mast? The flag belongs all the way up at the top. Then if you fly it at half-mast, that's disrespectful according to Mr. Fool. Let me tell you something. Anytime a person gets in position of authority and is taking your money and he's up over you, taking from you and exercising authority over you and has no respect for you, you have a duty to speak out against him. That's the one thing that America, that's some of the saving graces of America. that it ain't no dictatorship here, except when it comes to black people. Get your niggas in line over there. Is that what he told the coach, the owners? In so many words, fire them SOBs. Could you imagine if President Obama had got out there trying to tell somebody who to hire and fire? Now, you know they listening to me and too scared to come in here and say something. Scared. Unmute your phone if you ain't scared, devil. You will be before you get out of here. Here a man standing up talking about everything but what he took an oath to uphold. Didn't he stand up there and take the oath to uphold the Constitution? Then what are you talking about what the fans want? The aircraft carriers need to be coming through here. Yeah, that's right. Look at him. A hateful bigot. What about show total respect for your people, of your country, and the rights that the Constitution, that you say you uphold, the rights that the Constitution affords them? It ain't no law in the Constitution that says anybody got to stand for the flag. Because the minute you start trying to, do you know what patriotism is? Patriotism is love for one's own country and one's own flag. Any fool know you cannot legislate love? Matter of fact, the more you try to force people to love anything, you turn them against it. He knows that. He ain't as dumb as he acts. He got everybody at each other, don't he? What happened to a house that's divided while his favorite city is Moscow? That's what his son said. How would his son know about Moscow? Who took him over there? And who been taking him over there for years? Don't no place get to be your favorite place by going once. Unless you pretty dumb. Yeah, I wouldn't put that past him either. But anyway, you know why they don't want to, none of them say nothing to me. Well, if we talk to him here, that's just giving him more credibility. I have credibility all over the earth already, boy. Do you know how it make you look for me to be standing up here knowing how what the word they use for him? It's stuck on himself. How narcissistic he is. You ever seen a narcissist ever able to pass up the opportunity to defend himself against something that somebody said about him? He tweets back to everybody else. Everything you say to me, because you know, I'm careful what I say about people. If I say it about you, it's because I can prove it's true. If you don't believe it, why don't you come in here and tell me to prove something that I said about you? I know what the book said about a fool. The fool have said in his heart, there is no God. There ain't no way that you can claim. All these people run around here claiming they believe in God and practicing racism. They lying. The Bible says. Say, he that claims to love God and hates his brother is a liar, and the truth is not in him. You practicing what's in you. You doing what's in you. It's like this cup. Every time I tilt it, whatever's in it is what comes out. And you know, whenever you tilt the thing, you make it list in that direction. It's leaning in that direction. So you do whatever you list. Whenever whatever you lean towards, that's what's in you. That's how you find out what's in people. Watch what they do. You can't pay attention to even the people who read body language. They tell you that about the mouth speaks about 20% of what you really thinking. Your actions and deeds communicate far more honestly. It's like I noticed, he ain't calling that man no Christian terrorist. Man murdered up all them people. He ain't even said he was a low down nothing. He been strangely quiet about that, haven't he? With his big mouth self. You know, it takes a lot of bravery to come after somebody who you armed to the teeth and they got nothing. You notice that fella sitting up there with a room full of, I mean, he had an arsenal up there. See, I saw a deal on the internet there that he was one of Trump's supporters. They got it on the internet. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's sure on there. I didn't read it. I saw them asking one of his buddies about him. One of his neighbors that knew him, and he in so many words, say, I hate to say it, but he was one of Trump's supporters too. I mean, man got all them weapons out. You showed up, he sure wasn't no Obama supporter. You know who the people is that advocate guns. So, and they still don't want to stop. They not, when Allah intends to destroy you, the advice I give you ain't gonna help you. No, it's gonna make you act even worse. Like he told Moses, he said, and that's talking about me. He said, you tell him, let my people go. You go and say that. That was just another way of saying, you go and give him orders. He said, but I'm gonna harden his heart. What would harden a redneck's heart more than a black man standing up telling him what to do? You think he gonna do what I tell? He gonna do just the opposite of what I told him, so he can get this whooping. He gonna get it. Oh yeah, every one of them getting it. So I want you to remember that that's coming for everybody with the wrong mind. Let this mind be in you that was also in Christ. You see, when the chastisement gets into full swing, your color ain't gonna mean nothing. Everybody who don't have the blood of the lamb on the doorpost, on the brain, the chastisement gonna light on you. Now that's it. And you can't fake this, because what ain't in your heart you just can't do. Just like standing up there reading a speech, as though you're saying all the right words, but your heart just ain't in it. That man ain't got no empathy for nobody. He don't feel nothing for nobody. He don't know how. I told you, once you let hatred into your being, people say in your heart. The heart of the individual is the brain, the mind. Once your mind feeds on lies and enmity, you got some people, I tell you what, you watch them and listen to them, they never got nothing good to say about nobody. Huh? They go around like somebody just a dirt magnet. Anything that's bad about people, that's what they know. And they don't invite you. When you get through speaking with them, you ain't never got no peace. It's just the opposite. And that's how you could tell whether who I am. If listening to me break your peace, and you really trying to seek peace, and you don't get peace from listening to me, then something wrong. And if ain't nothing wrong with you, it's something wrong with me. It's like I tell people, look, it's impossible. Listen to the words now. It is impossible for you to believe in the Holy Scriptures and disbelieve in me. You want me to say it again? It is impossible for you to believe in the Holy Scriptures and disbelieve in me. Now, if that's a vain statement that I just made, open up the Holy Bible or the Holy Quran and find something in there that condemns me. When Solomon said, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding, and in all of your ways of life, acknowledge him as your head, and he will direct you in your path that you should take. Who was he talking about? David said, know ye that the Lord, he is God. Who was he talking about? Muhammad said, say, I seek refuge in the Lord of men, the King of men, the God of men. Who was he referring to? Jesus said, the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath day. Who was he talking about? Jeremiah said, they shall no more say the Lord who brought them up out of Egypt, but the Lord who brought them up out of the north country. Who was he talking about? Jonah said, I will pay that which I have vowed. Salvation is of the Lord. Who was he talking about? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, there ain't nobody coming behind me but God. I better tell you that. Who was he talking about? You got numbers that represent you. What them numbers called? No. These numbers was before you got a Social Security number. How do you express dates? I didn't hear you. My physical number is 112650. You got one of them numbers. Don't you know your birthday? That's a number, ain't it? Well, the firstborn of the scriptures is 666. That's my number. My mind is the first mind that is born or produced to understand the 66 books of the Bible and the book that came 600 years after it that reminds us of it, which is the Holy Quran. Didn't Solomon tell you wisdom is the principal thing? So get wisdom. Well, here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is also the number of a man. The man's number is 666. And that's where the wisdom is. The messenger told me, he said, there will be no end to your wisdom in the hereafter. He didn't lie. And you bear witness that he didn't lie. He didn't lie. Because you every time you come in my presence, you learn something new. You learn a whole lot new. You learn that there's more levels to the understanding of the truth than you ever dreamed of. And just because you understand it on one level, that don't qualify you to come in here and call yourself arguing with me, because I'll just ask you, what else do it mean? You gonna fight me with what I gave you? No, you ain't. You gonna get out of my face. That's what you gonna do. So, here this man talking like it was okay for him to talk like that as a private citizen. He had a right to his opinion, to tell coaches and whatnot, if they look, fire them so-and-sos if they want to take a knee. He had a right to say that. But when he became the president of the United States, he didn't have no right to stand up and say something like that. Because the Constitution, them men wasn't violating the Constitution. He is. And everybody who supports him is supporting him violating the very document that they claim makes their country great. So I can't even get them. I can't even get nobody. Won't even nobody even checks or comment on it. You know why they don't do that? Because they know I'm gonna call them out. I'll let them type it. Go on, type something in there. Show me what I'm saying that's wrong. You know, brothers and sisters, we all need to just unite and lead these people. Then see how great they are. Muhammad Ali said a mouthful when he said, you want me to go over there and to Viet Cong? He said, Viet Cong ain't never called me no nigger. You want me to go over there and stand up for you and fight for you and die for you, but you don't even want to stand up for my rights here in America. When I want freedom, you the one who oppose me. When I want justice, you're my opposer. When I want equality, you're the one who opposes me. I don't doubt that they had something to do with him getting sick in the last day of his life. I don't doubt it. That man ain't get hit in his head to get no Parkinson's disease. If you watched his fights, he hardly ever got hit in the head. You go find a fight where Muhammad Ali was getting hit upside the head. They got them on the internet. We know what you about. They trick you out from behind God's messenger, and then they pounce on you. That's the way wolves hunt. They look at a weak one and cut him out from the protection of the herd, and then they have him for dinner. They cut Malcolm out away from his teacher, and then they killed Malcolm and said the Muslims did it. The whole purpose of raising up all of these people, putting them out there in front of T.D. Jakes. Who is T.D. Jakes? Just a Negro that the white man done put up there and made him look like he's some great preacher or something, just to keep you following lies. Because he done put envy and jealousy in you. So whenever you see one standing up talking, you immediately say, ooh, who is he? Boy, I sure wish I could get up there and do that. Well, it's easy to find a Negro to make him get out there and do something like that, because he ain't interested in freedom, and he cares nothing about his brother. So he'll go out there and say whatever white folks tell him to say, as long as he getting paid. If what I'm saying is not true, why nobody taking me to task about it? They know I know how to prove that what I'm saying is true. And then you see all the robbers. I remember the messenger was teaching on the robbers. He said, you want to rob your brother. You said I could go over here and get this for 100 and make 1,000 off of it back here. So everywhere I go, you trailed me to show you are very wicked and low down. You say yes to Elijah while you're in his face, and the minute his back is turned, you're trying to rob his plans of good for his people. You want to know what we got to overcome? We got to overcome niggardliness. We got to overcome the afflictions of our mind that was done to us from 400 years of slavery. And the only ones who overcoming it is the ones that's behind me. It's hard, ain't it? I know it's hard. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. It's hard creating love in your heart where there was none. There ain't no way we could. If we was honest, all of us know we never loved each other. That's why when we try to live together in the house, it's hard to get along. Because there ain't no love there. So we go through the motion because I ordered you to. The book says, submit yourselves therefore to God and resist them evil thoughts that you have. which is the devil that you carry around in your brain. And soon that the devil will flee from you. Perish the thought. But you ain't living with each other because you chose to. I put you with each other. And if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be doing this. And you also wouldn't have the things that you have either. You're going to have to create love in your heart for yourself and your people, because it did not exist. That's why we were not safe to walk the streets in our own community. That's why the white man could bring you drugs and tell you to go and poison your people with them and get rich off of them, and you do it because you don't love your people. Because if you loved your people, nobody could get you to help kill them. That's how you know that man don't love this country. You find out what percent of his military is non-white people. Find out what percentage of his workforce that's doing jobs that white people don't want. The whole time I was doing maintenance work, if we saw other maintenance workers, they wasn't white people. We going in buildings, buffing floors, cleaning carpets, dumping trash, and all that kind of stuff. Them is the jobs that they don't want. But they sure want that office to look pretty. They want them floors to look pretty. They want them carpets to look pretty. And they could give less than a tinker's damn about the ones who was making them pretty. Put him behind a buffer, he wouldn't know what to do with it. You know, you reach a point. Now understand, there's nobody that don't know now that the black man is the original man, which means the black man is God. As in, let us make all these other people in our image after our likeness. Now, if you don't know what that means, you better go read your own story. Where did they get the idea of the prince and the pauper? Where did they get the idea for that story? You remember the prince traded places with the pauper? Before you abuse, criticize, and accuse, walk a mile. Huh? If your enemy uh, compel you to go a mile with him, Jesus said, no, go two with him, go twain with him. Like I told you, I'm not bitter about slavery. It was God's will. I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for slavery. It took some suffering to get me here. It took threatened genocide to produce me. You know why the book says the Lord is faithful? It's because when I don't just, I ain't got no hidden secret in me that tells me that I can control the storms and all that kind of stuff. I just trusted what the word said. That the forces of nature would be ordered to fight on the side of the Mahdi. Well, if I'm the Mahdi, then I have faith that if I say it, that's what it's going to be. And nobody came to me and told me, here it is, you got it. No, I have faith. When you hear me say that ain't no tornado coming through here in Jefferson County after me, I got faith. That's my faith talking. We walk by faith, not by sight. The wind get boisterous out there. If it get a little too boisterous, I know how weak my little excuse me, how weak my little roof is. If it get too boisterous out there, I just ask Allah, oh Lord, please let this hurry up and get out of here. My little roof, this roof, it can't take all that. And it's gone after a while. But I don't want Allah to stop the judgment for me. I just want to live through it. No, by all means, put it on. I ain't got no problem with it. Let it get high. Just don't let it blow us away. I got no problem with that. I don't want him to stop the judgment. Little do these people know that the Muslims in their midst. You better be glad I got some followers in Baton Rouge. I heard your wicked behind last night. So, but anyway, I can't forget my followers in different places. The messenger told them, he said, little do they know that the Muslims in their midst are a protection for them. You remember Sodom? The angels told Lot, you got to get out of here. Why? We can't do nothing to this place until you get out of here. Now you get on out of here. Why? Because the people was threatening Lot. If they'd have just left Lot alone, the angels would have just said, well, we done found a family. We done found some righteous in here, so we're going to spare it for the righteous sake. But when they threatened the righteous, that did it. So, okay, get yours and get out of here. We're going to deal with these people. Do you understand? Well, yeah. So shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. The messenger told you any country would be a fool to declare war on the Muslims because they have the champion of war with them. Tell me something. Didn't I warn you not to try to go to war against somebody who had more sense than you? Do you not see me standing up talking to the whole world and just saying whatever about whoever? And the people I talk about, they don't even attempt to come in here and argue with me. Well, does that not tell you that I got more sense than all of you? Then I'm the champion of war. I told you, you already got enough worms in your body to eat you up while you standing on your feet. All they have to do is be ordered to do so. You know what they say? You know what that term comes from? Uh, People who live in glass houses should not what? Should not throw stones. You know what that means? You should not, as fragile as you are and as ignorant as you are about how things work on our planet, you're just not finding out a lot of things, how things work. Do you know how foolish you are to call yourself attacking a divine man? Let alone the Lord of divine men. You know that the prophets didn't, they talked about you as inconsequential. They said, "How long, Lord? Holy and true, wilt thou not judge and avenge our blood on them on earth?" You think they care? No, they know you rejected them. Look at the earth. You found righteousness somewhere? Was you doing righteousness when I met you? Any of you that trust that you are righteous, come in here and let me have a conversation with you and let me see how righteous you are. The book teaches you that salvation is the gift of God. Not that any man should boast. You ain't got nothing to boast about. That you deserved salvation. No, you didn't. It is a gift. So, it's time now. I mean, many of you, you notice as you go on in weeks, months, as you say, days, weeks, months, years, you start looking back at yourself, how you were and how you presently are, and you start to give thanks. And then you know that I'm guiding you to salvation. You know that I'm guiding you to perfection. Those who haven't been following my instructions, they don't know that. But the ones who follow my instructions, you know. Because you may not be what you gonna be, but you sure ain't what you used to be. Huh? Now all you got to do is don't be looking back. Am I clear? Don't be looking back. That's what Lot's wife, that's why she became the sixth pillar of faith. Since you are the righteous are the salt of the earth. But what happens if the righteous lose their righteousness? That's like salt losing its saltiness. Then wherewith shall you season it? If salt stopped being salty. So when Lot's wife looked back, she became the sixth pillar of Islam. Remember Lot's wife. So once Allah raise you up and pull you out of evil, don't look back at it as though you miss it. Sitting up conversating on about how you used to do this and used to do that. You better stop looking back. The messenger told us, he said, you're out of the grave. Stay out of the grave. Sitting up talking about reminiscing over being dead. No. Only time you hear me do something like that is when I'm talking to the dead and letting them understand that I know what you've been through. I've been doing that. I done did that before. I don't miss it. You ain't come around me and you talking and I'm reminiscing over that grave. And if anybody do that, you remind them, hey man, son, you know we ain't got no business sitting up talking about, what are you doing? No, we don't miss that. And so I'm so thankful that Allah backed up my word, that I don't have to keep on putting up with people coming in here disrespecting us. And when he punish you, when you make it necessary for Allah to have to punish you for disrespecting me, you will wish that I had took it up. You will wish that I had tried to handle you myself. Because when I turn you over to Allah's chastisement, it's like the judge. He warned people in the court, hey, son, now you do that again, I'm going to hold you in contempt. When he turned you over to the jailer, he through with you. They know what to do with you when they get you in there. You be sitting in that cell. With people that's more like you. And some of them worse than you. So you better learn to appreciate when people offer something good to you. Because it's a whole lot of bad actors out there waiting for an opportunity to mess over you, and the only thing stopping them is that you with me. Yeah. You would think that you ain't no bad people out there nowhere. So Allah give you a little wake-up call from time to time because people offend you, and then you start realizing you in a circle of safety. It ain't like they ain't out there. Oh yeah, they're out there. But you're with me. And everybody that's with me, Allah protects. So just like he protects me. So all praise is due to Allah. Let's stand and have prayer. Attention. Hut. Original salute. Ready front. Prayer position. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. And I bear witness that I know of none who deserves to be served or worshipped beside thee. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, all holy praise is due and be to thee, O Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful Master of the Day of Requital. Thee do we serve and thee do we beseech for help. O Allah, please continue to guide us and keep us on the right path and way, the straight path and way of thee and those upon whom thou hast bestowed thy favors, not the crooked paths and ways of Satan and those upon whom thy wrath is or will be brought down, nor the foolish paths and ways of those who go astray or who are led astray, even after they've heard and been given the true understanding of thy holy word and teachings. Truly, I have again turned myself to thee, O Allah, striving to be totally upright, to thee who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. Truly my prayers, my sacrifices, my life and my death are all for thee, O Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate hast thou, in this am I commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King. I know of no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been greatly unjust to myself, and I confess my faults and weaknesses. So please grant me and my true followers and family continuous protection against all of our faults and weaknesses. For none grants protection against faults and weaknesses but thee. And guide us to and instill within us the best of moral character and thoughts. For none can guide us to and instill within us the best of moral character and thoughts but thee. And turn us away from and remove from us the evil and indecent moral character and thoughts. For none can turn us away from and remove from us the evil and indecent moral character and thoughts but thee. And, O Allah, we beseech thee for thy help and ask thy protection. And we believe in thee and we trust in thee. And we seek thy help to laud thee in the best manner, and to never be ungrateful unto thee, and to cast off and to forsake him or her who is disobedient unto thee, and to remove from ourselves all things that are displeasing unto thee and beside thee. And, O Allah, please let me remain a true believer, and let no man, woman, or child, or jinn deceive me and cause me to lose my regard with thee, nor my reward that is with thee. And save us from the hell that thou hast promised the devils and their followers, and grant that we not only see the hereafter, but to abide therein with thee forever. Ameen. Attention. Hut. Original salute. Ready in front. You may be seated. Now, any of you that have something you want to ask me, you may feel free to do so. I want to thank those who or even just visiting us in our prayer service, for showing respect. We we want you to know that whenever you have uh, came to me in the way of disrespect, when you repent of that, you are forgiven if you truly repent. I forgive you because I know that we've been in a world that's guided by the devil himself. And none of us could have been nothing but devils because the devil was our foster parent. But how else would we be able to uh, be judged if we didn't know evil and good and then decide which one we want to be? We have lived our lives in the absence of the understanding of righteousness. All our righteousness is as a pile of filthy rags. Is a junk pile. When now true righteousness is being offered to you, Allah starts with Abraham's seed as he promised. He said, I will keep my covenant, make my covenant between me and you, Abraham. Well, you don't have to wonder who I am. Since I'm the only one understanding the Holy Scriptures, then obviously Allah kept his promise. That he kept it between him and Abraham's seed. Didn't put no S on it at the end of seed. It just says seed. Why? It's not necessary for every member of the body to have ears. Just the head. He that hath ears, let him hear. That's just another way of saying I'm talking to the head of you. It's just like this man who claims to be the president don't understand that he's supposed to be the head of the United States government. And he's still talking like he's the foot or something. Well, ain't he the president over them players too? Ain't he their president too? Well, why he don't defend their rights? I'm not just Lord over black people. I'm Lord over everybody. And I respects everybody. It's not disrespectful of you to correct you. Whom the Lord loves, he chastises. He corrects. But you don't know nothing about love. That's why you condone people instead of correcting them. When you're in a position to correct them, you refuse. That's the way children are. They'll stand by and watch a fight. They'll stand by and coax it and urge it on. And an adult have to come out there and say, break it up. Then the rest of them upset because they wanted to watch a fight. They want to watch one hurt another. Yes.
When you all do your ablution, what do we mean by wash the exposed?
It means wash the exposed parts of your body, those that collect dirt. The basic reason for an ablution is to remind you of what you're getting ready to do. That's all it is. It's just getting you in the mood and getting you in the frame of mind to commune with God. That's all. You see? And the reason that we close our eyes when we pray is because we recognize that God is not matter. God is mind. God is the truth. And he always has been, and he always will be the best knower of the truth among us. You see? You know, when you really come to the reality of Almighty God, you will recognize that Allah has never been distant from us. You don't see God with your physical eye, you see God with the mind's eye. I told you, you have to have some wisdom or some sense to know when you should submit to somebody. A fool can't follow me. You got to have some wisdom to follow me. Mm, mm, mm. Nope. You know, there's very few people that it's just like with in this world. The wise people in this world are the ones who wind up wealthy because they know what to invest in. They didn't say when they saw a man had the idea of how to make an airplane, they told him, go to it, man. I hope you success. And if they had some money, they say, well, here's a little, I'll invest in that. They didn't say if God meant for man to fly, he gave him wings. You know, people, you know, everybody just, you know, don't have vision. You know, they just, and they don't have sense enough to connect themselves to someone that has vision. Most people are always satisfied with the status quo, with what actually is. And they never see beyond what is to what could be or should be. You see? And that is, you know, so you give thanks that you have sense enough to recognize the Son of Man that's standing here talking to you. If you believe, you give thanks for that. Because the world can't see me. They're blinded by skin. No matter how many times I show them the truth. So I'm going to let you go. Yes.
of paper, water maybe, and the ink, you splash it and the ink kind of run a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
When it dry, you notice that something splashed on it. But when I went to go vote, the ballot they provided me with had that type of marking on it. If I'm not mistaken, Brother James had a little marking on his as well, because I just happened to be at the same time he voted. And I was just.
You talking about when you went to vote?
Right. And I brought that up to the believers. So when you go to vote, notice your ballot. That's probably something I should have did, was to ask for another, a clean one that didn't have any markings on it. Because I was thinking that maybe even after we put it in the box and cast our vote, they can later notice that, oh, that was Muhammad or somebody who had that, you know, if they doing something crooked that they wanted to see, because, you know, I was told that even after the voting was over, but they wanted to blame us. Well, why do they even?
Well, you know, I don't care about them blaming. I don't care about nobody calling themselves blaming me. I mean, what you think I am? Your puppet around here? You know, even if I vote, you know, if I want to vote for you, I will vote for you. If I don't want to vote for you, I won't vote for you. And I don't care what kind of ballot you give me. That shows you how stupid you are. You say you believe in democracy, and then when people exercise their their rights in a democracy to choose to make their own choice, you upset because they didn't choose you? That's the way small towns and most people that's in a small town, the reason that town stays small is because the mind that's controlling that town is small. And it will stay small because the minds that's there think on that small. I told you, most people satisfied with the way things are, and they don't see nothing greater. You know, I'm not one of them people. You know, I told you many times people pretend to be your friend, not because they really are a friend, but because they're trying to get something out of you. I know a lot of people that I consider friends that I don't think would make a good mayor or a good police chief or a good principal for a school or a good president. It don't mean I don't like you, simply because I don't think you're the best person qualified for a job. The duty of citizens is to try their best to vote someone into office that they feel is really qualified and really can help their community to do something that's in the best interest of their community. And if you don't think that if I was running for office, if you don't think that I would try to do what's in the best interest of the community, well then why vote for me? Well, because you like me? Liking ain't got nothing to do with it. Who's the most qualified? That's what you're supposed to be interested in. You don't cast a vote on somebody because you like them. What office is he running for? Do you think he can do the job? Or her? So, I don't have to like you. You know, most people think that running for office is running for sainthood. They ain't running for sainthood. Ain't no saints on this planet. I'm here to make some saints. So since ain't no saints, According to the scripture said there's none righteous, no, not what? Okay. But when you run for president, you ain't running for righteous recognition. You running to do a job of representing the United States of America. When you run for governor, you running for a job. You're not running for sainthood. It's nice if a person is at least trying to live upright, that you take that into consideration. But we need you to be more than just trying to live upright. We need you to have some managerial skills if you want to manage the state. Huh? We also need we need to know that you know how to bite your tongue and control your mouth. It's a whole lot of things that you got to be able to do when you get up in higher positions of government. But anyway, you know, people, that's the price you pay. You get fools in charge when you don't enlighten the people who vote. Most people don't realize it's just like children. You leave children to themselves and in the house, you leave them in there to themselves too long, that house gonna burn down or that house gonna be destroyed. An ignorant mind is what causes most of the downfalls of all civilizations. It is the ignorant mind. No civilization can last beyond the wisdom of its people. So, okay. Then I'm going to let you go. May Allah bless us, keep us safe and in our right minds. May Allah's Salam Alaikum.